So this week we've been working on performing as a duo with live electronics and our acoustic instruments. Played a lot together acoustically, and we've both done bits of electronics on our own, but we're sort of working to try and build a setup where you can kind of incorporate both those things together.
With the electronics, there's an immediacy and there's a kind of flow of discovery. The sheer number of combinations you can have is astronomically big, basically. So there's lots of different areas, and I think each time we play there's a little discovery, but we found a lot of pathways that work collectively. It's been nice to be here and just allow the creative process and practice to take precedent and to take priority. Because I think a lot of people get deterred from the idea of jazz music. So there's this kind of whole hang-up even just over the aesthetic of the music, but I think within this there's a real wide appeal that isn't maybe, even though we're playing a lot of the same stuff, isn't maybe tarred with the same brush. Coming to Snape, the idea of coming to Snape, the idea of being part of this project, the idea of having this residency, for me, when I was envisaging it, it was all about the location. To engage with the landscape and to engage in curious ways, in a childlike way. So I've just had a lot of fun, and actually it's been nice and reaffirming to see how it has translated into the music that we're creating, and the openness and the vibrance that it's kind of brought to the music that we're making. The coming years for me, I think that's going to become a big part of my practice, is how to integrate, you know, my love for nature with the music that I'm making. So we had the great privilege and pleasure of working with Pat Thomas this week, an amazing friend and really a kind of pillar of the jazz community in this country. It's been great to just connect with him, and I think when there was the opportunity to work with a mentor, he kind of sprang to mind because of his big range of like inspirations and influences, and also the experiences that he's had.
We also had some time with Josh, who we play with in Xhosa's band a lot. And yeah, we kind of had a chance to work as a bit of a quartet, to play a lot with Pat, but also kind of to talk about things, and I guess for Pat to sort of give us some insight into ways we can kind of try different things out. My favourite thing about this week really is just having that opportunity to focus on something and really get into it, but in kind of such a sort of idyllic surroundings. It's not that often that you kind of just get to focus on something in isolation and just only do that thing for a week. That's been a huge thing, really.
Just this time and space to reflect, you know, and also to create in an open way, without objectives, without goals, in the same way, has kind of given me a peep of what it's like to remove myself from performing in a commercial sense of, or engaging with the commercial world, where there are pulls and pushes in different directions, where there's micro manipulation on an industry scale, and it's really affirmed kind of just a feeling of wanting to do this, of wanting to spend time up trees, of wanting to spend time in rivers, and also wanting to play outside, you know, play outside, play with the sounds that are coming in, play with the sounds of nature, but also a bit, I'm really looking forward to going back to the city and doing similar walks with my saxophone, but in a city environment, because there's one of the things I notice is that humans, we make a lot of noise even when we're not meaning to, so it would be interesting to play with the sounds of a city, you know. So